Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network. Hi, this is Amit Doshi, and I wanted to thank each and every one of our listeners. It's been 2 years since I founded IVM, and it's been an amazing 2 years. We wanted to learn a little bit more about who is listening to our shows, and so we put together a short survey. The survey is anonymous, and we aren't going to be collecting any personal information. I would really appreciate it if you could take a couple of minutes out of your day and go to ivmpodcast.com/survey and fill it out. Thanks, and please keep listening.
Hey, welcome to Geek Fruit Retcon, where we travel back in time to a previous episode from our inglorious history on the Geek Fruit podcast. Happy listening, you nerds.
Hi and welcome to Geek Fruit. You're listening to me, Tejas. I'm with Jishnu. Hi, Jishnu.
Hello.
Today's a weird episode, if I may say so.
No, but they're all weird. Let's not lie to ourselves.
No, they're all weird,
Let's
but
not lie to ourselves.
But we usually focus on one
They're
thing.
bizarre.
Yes. But we usually like to at least attempt to focus on one thing. Today we're gonna lose focus and talk about everything.
Embrace the ADD.
Yeah, it's good. And it's fine. Nerds are, usually like they keep, digressing. If you listen to the show at all, then you know that it's very difficult for us to even like stay on one point at a
Tom
time.
Felton will be joining the cast of The Flash as a series regular. He supposedly will be playing a guy named Julian Dorn.
Yeah.
Who works as a CSI. So he's, I guess, Barry Allen's like cohort.
But why does he need that? Oh, let's actually discuss this a little bit.
So apparently, this character Julian Dorn, is not in the books.
I was just going to say,
Jishnu,
this is so good because you love this, the new stuff, the original stuff for the TV show, like Harrison Wells.
Exactly.
So this is one more of them.
This is exactly
and
that.
I love Tom Felton.
I'm excited to see Tom Felton. If I'm assuming we all know who Tom Felton is. If not, he is Mr. Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy.
Mr. the young baby boy Malfoy.
Junior Malfoy.
I guess not Junior Malfoy anymore.
Oh yeah, now
because there is baby boy Malfoy. Baby girl? Baby boy. I don't know.
It's Scorpius Malfoy. It's a dude.
His name is Scorpius?
Scorpius Malfoy.
Like Scorpius King circa Dwayneson?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes. So basically at the epilogue of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, they have that little awkward as hell epilogue, which then was made only more awkward by the movie version of the epilogue, where they're all aged up and they all have kids, and very unfortunately titled Albus Severus Potter is Harry Potter's son.
Yep.
But to do one further, they named Malfoy's kid Scorpius.
Are you sure that's
Are you trying to go for a good name?
That's his name? That's such a bad name.
I'm not kidding.
That's
I
such
swear.
a bad
Scorpius.
name. Okay.
And it's like it's like a Mahindra. Sorry.
I just got that.
Sorry.
Okay, cool.
Mahindra, sponsor us.
Cool.
Yeah,
so Tom Felton, aka Mr. Malfoy, will be in The Flash. I'm mainly excited to see him doing something other than scorn and
but he might be. I don't know if he's going to be a good guy. Have you seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes? He's there in that as well. And he's playing a bad guy in that. He's playing a douche in that as well.
Oh,
and he gets his desserts as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see him play something different.
I hope he's playing a good guy, yeah. Well, or at least a brooding-ish kind of cool new figure.
I'm hoping that he plays a Harrison Wells type of guy, a double agent essentially, so that we can see him do his evil thing, which he does pretty well.
No, as in a double agent?
Basically, like play,
as in you're saying play an actual character from the comics, but has been masqueraded by a fake name.
I don't care if he's from the comics or not, but I just want to play I think he could play two different roles and do what Harrison Wells has done, which is pretend to be somebody else for a while and then reveal this thing. And now he's playing a third person altogether.
In fact, they could do the reverse of Harrison Wells, where he's pretending to be he's a bad guy, but he turns out to be a good guy. So that would be cool, because we've had it twice. We've had it with Harrison Wells in the first season, and we've had it with Zoom, who plays, he goes by Jay Garrick in the beginning until
Yeah? I think I have the best fan theory ever.
Go, hit me.
What was, I forget her name, what was the name of the girl
Patty Spivot?
Patty Spivot. Now that she's gone, he's in the CSI.
He's male Patty
Spivot, and now the last time we saw Barry, he finally didn't. Was that the first kiss he had with Iris?
Yeah, first. So technically, not without the time travel episode in the first season.
So he's confessed his love and professed his love for Iris, but now this guy comes in, this hot, young, new CSI guy, and he's like,
Are you saying that Flashpoint Barry is gay?
I'm saying he's bi, and then this entire season is just about LGBT the
he's
whole way through.
Barry Allen. Huh? All right,
Write
guys?
that down. Write that down.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody write that down.
Greg Berlanti, call me.
I'm gonna make a T-shirt.
Yeah. So anyway, but
No, I hope that he's good.
I think I hope he's playing more than like a double agent. Like I would like to see him in a role which is slightly different. Which is, it's cool news.
You want to see him in a robe that's slightly different?
Well, yeah, because he was in Hogwarts.
This is true.
Oh.
They wore a lot of robes in Hogwarts, didn't they?
I mean, then after Alfonso Cuarón came in, he kind of ditched the robes. He's like, dude, kids would not wear robes.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean, like if they would, but only in class.
They all wore very old man robes.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean,
which is the wizarding attire.
No. I mean, like robes, like bathrobes. Every time they were in the common room, they were always wearing robes.
Wait, are you talking about robes or wizarding robes?
I'm talking about robes, not
bathroom
robes.
bathroom
like bathrobes. They were always wearing bathrobes. Like every night.
So.
No, dude, every night. At least for the first 3 movies, when they were like sneaking out at night and like
first 2 movies.
Getting up to no good.
Yeah,
they were always in a bathrobe.
That's because British people are just more it's just classy, man. We barely wear like night wear like pajamas and shit like that.
Now that I think about it, Harry is like, he's sort of, shunned to live under the stairs in that little cupboard and dingy little hole in the ground. And he's sort of, living in a slum basically. However, his uncle and aunt deem it worthy to give him a matching set of bathrobes and pajamas that he wears every time he's at home, which is kind of a neat juxtaposition.
I think it was a hand-me-down from Dudley, right? Wasn't
nothing Dudley wears would ever fit Harry.
No, but that's what the whole stories began with, like that he always had loose clothing baggy? And stuff. In the books, that's what they would say.
Well, then.
Clothes is a very big part of the Harry Potter universe, with Dobby and like with Harry and his whole hand-me-downs. It's a big deal.
Anyway. Good luck, Tom Felton.
Good luck, Tom.
Hope you do well.
It's basically what we were trying to say. We are looking forward to your performance, Season 3, Flashpoint. All right, cool. Shall we move on?
Let's.
Should we take a break and then talk about stuff? Or should
give
we just...
me more.
Okay, more stuff.
I demand more things.
Okay, cool. So I saw last night, and this could be any time based on when you're hearing this, but if you're hearing it, then immediately last night I did watch Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition.
All 3 hours?
Yeah, I did see all 3 hours of it. Oh my gosh, it was long. So obviously we've all been really excited about it because obviously any nerd loves a director's cut. Some director's cuts have been way better than the original films. Blade Runner, Watchmen, Daredevil. In fact, the original Daredevil was slightly better because of the director's cut. This is the first time I've ever seen a director's cut which was unnecessary.
You've seen this movie 3 times now, right?
Now 4 times.
Now 4? Oh, jam.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like this movie was the only movie in which the director's cut should have been shorter than the original film. But let me just quickly go over the points that they've added to in the film. So one of the main things is this whole bat branding thing. And what I'm talking about is how he projects his image to the public. Not that branding, like the cow branding, with the
oh right, yes.
Yeah, he brands all these criminals, and they keep saying that when the bat brand.
He only does it once in the screen version, in the theatrical release.
Yeah,
right?
but once in this also. But like they only say that they basically say that if a brand means death for any inmate who basically goes into penitentiary, you die. Basically, you're killed either, and it's not made clear by other convicts or like what. Mostly by that. Okay. But so in this, basically, I don't know why they've done that. Because in this movie, they explain that the only person who does get branded in the first part of the movie, when you see Batman and he escapes from the cops and everything, that guy goes to jail, and he is like with a shiv. He gets knifed by a dude who's been paid off by the KG Beast, who's the main character, and Kislev, that one, the Russian dude who's basically one of the antagonists who's working for Lex Luthor.
One of the
So
thugs.
basically, they're implying that Lex Luthor is the one who's killing off these guys and making it look like Batman is a menace, and is getting people killed in jail. But my question is, why use the brand at all? Like, why is Batman using that if that doesn't mean anything? I guess it's just like a mark to show that you were schooled.
He just wants to be Zorro. He just wants to be Zorro.
Yeah, basically like Zorro. So I guess that's the thing. I mean, Batman could have not done that and spared himself a lot of media attention.
The thing that Zorro had on his side is that when you think about it, if you're a swashbuckling, pseudo pirate looking guy with a pointy sword, with all the swashbuckling you're doing, if you're lashing away at people and you rip through some of their clothes and therefore cut them, I can easily see a Z coming out of that. the Z shape. So Batman didn't really think his logo through, because like if you want to like really try and do that with a sword or any other device,
basically it's not like the Phantom with on his ring, like on the Phantom would have
to draw the Batman logo accurately takes a little bit of skill. Like it's not the easiest exactly in the world. There are a lot of like fine details to it. So like you need a brand to do that, because like you couldn't do that with a sword like too quickly. I don't think you need to be the Flash with a sword in order to do that fast enough so that you can get away with it.
And accurately. Nobody's saying Flash is a good artist either.
Flash can do his logo easily enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just that's it. The sound effects make the difference. Okay, cool. So that's one of the unnecessary bits. Second one is about, I don't know if you remember, there's a spokesperson in the beginning. She's from Nairobi, Africa.
Okay.
Which is the funniest fake name. Anyway, so there's more on her story and like how she's and I think she's killed very House of Cards like by being pushed onto a train because she realizes some truth again about Lex Luthor is planning this whole thing.
Oh, very cute.
That's And the third thing, sorry, spoilers, guys. And the third thing is Jenna Malone's character.
We really need to get better at this. Yeah.
Jenna Malone's character.
Yeah.
So she's not anybody who we thought she was. She basically she works for like Star Labs.
Okay.
And she's kind of like a forensic scientist who's helping Lois Lane kind of uncover the truth behind that bullet.
She's still alive though, right?
As far as I know,
So hopefully we'll see more of her in Justice League.
But I mean, like, what?
Anyway.
Okay.
So
that's BVS Ultimate Edition.
Yeah, all the reviews I've seen, just quick aside, is that it's only been out for like 24 hours at this point, and the only thing I've seen people say for the most part is that if you liked the film, you will still like it. If you didn't like the film, you will still not like it.
Yeah, it's just true.
It's basically just more of the same.
Indulgence.
It's a bit more gory, a bit more violent, and that's about it.
Fair enough.
Basically, no significant difference.
Nothing
worth writing home about.
It doesn't add to the film.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So go get it, I guess, if you want to see more.
It does not salvage the film.
And don't get it if you don't want to see it.
Because but Ultimate Edition.
I guess that's what.
Watch it. Okay, cool.
All right.
We'll take a short break, and we're gonna come back and talk about a couple of movies, right?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Let's keep it for a surprise.
Okay, surprise.
No, it's in the title.
No, is it?
Is it?
We haven't decided yet. Basically, depending on what we decide right now, it'll be in the title. What you're reading now is being decided right now as you hear it.
Okay, let's stop.
Okay, cool.
Okay, bye.
It's Independence Day and Finding Dory.
Damn it.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground, but there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today.
We're talking about Finding Dory.
So, how did you find Dory?
I actually, automatically though, like I feel like because you didn't like it, I have to find the good parts of it. I did like it. I don't think it's as good as the first movie because I think it is dependent on it. It's not like using a lot of the information from the first one, apart from the fact that they're using the same characters. But I still think it's dependent on the first movie, and it doesn't stand by itself completely. At the same time, I don't think the script was as tight. There are a couple of characters that bothered me as not being as original as the first one. And the comparison obviously is inevitable because you're coming back to a movie 13 years later. You're gonna be like. This was not, I'm sure it was more than enough time for us to forget about because the first one is unforgettable, the song which plays at the end of this film. And, considering the whole movie is still about memory loss and everything like that.
Speaking of,
that was the theme of the film.
I haven't seen Nemo in, I don't know how many years, maybe close to 10, maybe more. You've seen Nemo a lot since, right?
I love it.
So I remember, I enjoyed Nemo when I saw it, but I never, found myself going back to it.
Which is your favorite then? Which is your Pixar movie of choice then?
Toy Story 3.
Oh, okay, cool. Toy Story 3, yeah?
Without question.
Oh, sweet. Okay,
for just one moment in particular, which is equally dark.
The ending.
The ending when they decide to all right, screwed, we're gonna die.
We're gonna die, yeah, of course.
And the funny thing is, so this movie is pretty dark as well. And that ending, the tone of the ending was so somber that I was...
Wait, you're talking about Toy Story?
No, I'm talking about
Dory.
Finding Dory.
Okay.
Toy Story 3 is dark in very select moments, which is what I loved because it still remained a happy kids movie, but it kept me as an adult who was like overanalyzing it like I do with every movie.
Okay.
Kept me both thrilled, amused, and satisfied on several different levels because like it was very intelligently put together. But this one, I thought, when it got dark, I was very intrigued because like, I love when a movie can get real and like not be too camp.
Yeah.
Which this definitely was very camp at times, but that's fine. It's a kid's movie.
Yeah.
So when I saw it getting darker and darker, like really getting super real, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Let's see how far down the rabbit hole you go.
Yeah.
And when the movie ended, it just ended on the most, I felt like a very bizarre tone of like, when they go to that song, when they play Unforgettable and that particular rendition of it by Sia, and like it's very mellow and like, I didn't feel that family embrace of like, yay, we're back now, we found you. Because that moment happens at the end, and then like for the last 10 minutes, it's just like, and he never remembered anything again.
I think Finding Dory is definitely like the second best movie about short-term memory loss after Memento. So I think it is a movie about like it's more about, and
is Memento short-term memory?
Yeah, it's interrogate, right? Like that's how he has his long-term memories, but until the accident, then he starts losing his shot. That's why you have to keep watching the movie in
I haven't
reverse
seen that.
chronological order.
I haven't seen that in God knows
Have
how
you
long.
seen Chris Nolan explain that movie? He's just like so just like it was just like this random video, and he's like, sorry, this is just an aside, but he's just like. And this is how awesome Chris Nolan is. It's just like, hey, can you just explain the timeline of the film? He's like, yeah, I guess, like, it's almost like a throwaway thought for him. He's just like, I guess you could explain the movie. And he draws like this hairpin. And
did he have Venn diagrams?
Like a hairpin bend. And he's like, I guess if you look at the movie, it's like this. And it's like a perfect explanation of the timeline of that film. And it was just like, wow, you just like thought of this like randomly out of nothing. That guy's, anyway. So coming back to
that's
Guy
why they
Pearce.
pay him the big bucks.
Yeah, so they pay him the big bucks. Yeah, but yeah, I did like this movie for a couple of reasons. Most of the characters in all these films, all these Pixar movies are like, they always have like some inhibition usually, that kind of drives their character. Like either Woody's like just like afraid, or Bug's Life, he's just like he doesn't know where he fits in the world. So there's some personal inhibition. I think this is like a movie which is like the first movie which is like about like some kind of disability. It's not really Dory who is kind of inhibiting herself. She doesn't want to be that way. She just is that way.
That's true, I guess.
So I think that was kind of unique for me in this film. But I feel like in terms of the story, like the things that they could have done, a lot of it was not as tight as the first movie. Like in the first movie, there's a definitive like structure that they kind of it's a simple plot. Nino's lost. His dad, who has inhibitions, like he has like problems. He's like afraid. He doesn't want his son to kind of go out and do anything. And then until Dory says, well, if you don't let him do anything, he's never going to do anything. And so then he kind of overcomes that. Actually, another thing that I really liked about this movie is that they don't automatically make Marlon, who is still my favorite character, they don't automatically make him like, oh, I'm the coolest dad in the world now. Oh, I will let my son do anything because of the first movie. He's still like that. He's still kind of like, and kind of what he's still like kind of drives the events of this movie as well. Until his son, who's now, he's kind of the same age. It's only 1 year of a gap between those two films, but chronologically. But he's still like, Dad, you're a twat. Don't do this, stop doing this, you keep doing this. And he's like, okay, cool, and that's why it becomes a whole what would Dory do.
So speaking of the time that's passed between these movies, I think now that you mentioned that, I feel like we've reached the age where, like, for the most part, I think franchise movies, like this is now a franchise by virtue of having a sequel. Franchise movies, I think, are now all taking place in real time. Like if a movie, like,
I know.
Like Star Wars is the best example. Like 30 years past, it's been 30 years. And like, so we have to validate why this story right now matters, because stuff's happened for 29 years, but like we didn't think the 29 years of worth of stuff was worth telling. Or this story is worth telling.
It's better for Star Wars because then they can just say, we're not going to tell you what happened then.
Yeah, because we'll have more prequels, don't worry.
Or we won't tell you because that's part of the story that we can reveal later on.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, there's a good reason for why they choose to tell you this story that's taking place right now in this time. So I think the fact that 12 years has passed since Nemo.
But only 1 year.
And only 1 year for them.
Maybe it's in like fish years. Maybe 12 years in real time is 1 year.
What is fish years? I'm sure there's a calculation.
It's highly sped up.
Do you think it's different between different species of fish?
Yeah, of course. Right? Yeah, of course it has.
But
to
I mean,
be.
like, is it different between different breeds of dogs? Is like 101 years for one Dalmatian
that's
is
true.
7 years for a Labrador. That's why the dog from Full House and the dog in Fuller House is the exact same breed.
But not the same dog.
But it's not the same dog. But it might be the same dog. It might just be, and they're just lying to us.
So I'll tell you about cats.
It could be a super dog.
Because I have 2 cats, and cats age really, really strangely. It's like the first year is 15 years, the second year is 10 years, and then the third year onwards is a year and a year and a year. Like,
and then
proper.
How long do they live?
And they can. It depends on the breed again. So Persian cats live longer, but no, normal strays
That's
don't.
racist.
Well, it's just their old ways that have increased their longevity. No, but I don't know. So I don't know. Maybe this is a fish year
What
thing.
was the point of
And
my bringing this up?
Years.
Yes. Okay. So what I guess like threw me off a little bit was
the fact that they haven't aged in that time.
The fact that they haven't aged, and it's been 12 years for the audience, and the audience has grown up and matured, and like we are now.
That's something we noticed, right? We went for the movie in whatever in IMAX, and there were such small kids who were probably not even born when this first movie came out.
And also like, okay, further tangent. Speaking of that, we'll come back to this time thing in a second. But our movie watching experience was hilarious because we saw it on a weekday at like
Thursday. We saw it
on a Thursday at like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. And we figured like this will be great. There won't be any kids because they'll be in school.
Are they in school though? That was my question.
I think they're on break, and we just didn't realize that. Yes. So we thought there wouldn't be kids. There were in fact many a kid. And
many a kid.
There were a lot of these many a kids surrounding us, crying and doing what kids do. And as you watch this film, like this film is full of awe moments. Like it's incredibly cute, especially when like Baby Dory's there. It's like it's adorable.
Is Baby Dory also the cutest Pixar character they've ever made?
It's egregious how cute Baby Dory is. It was. I felt like I was being slapped in the face. I was like, come on, like give me.
But
like,
it was great.
This is too much. Like, come on, this is.
I don't know, man. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. So
like watching like the amount of cuteness that Baby Dory was oozing out was like every single Megan Fox like 30-second like egregious like sexy montage put into one on the other end of the spectrum.
Oh, no one's
you know what
saying,
I mean?
Yeah, and one
if you combine every useless throwaway like sexy montage that Megan Fox has in every movie she's in, and you pack them all into one, and then the power that she has, and you put that back into one Pokeball, and you have one Pokeball of like Megan Fox, and then you flip it onto the other side.
This metaphor is traversing.
And you throw it to the other side of the field, and it changes color and becomes a completely different permutation.
Yeah,
it had the same power. Like the amount of cuteness that this had was like as egregious as
but
that.
Is it as but
and you can quote me on
one
that.
Is inappropriate and one is not, so
I'm sure
to speak.
You will.
No, I'm not going to, because that was bizarre. But I just feel like we're not saying Pixar is not like manipulative. It definitely is. I mean, the amount of like there was a lot of cute baby doll, but it was cute.
I just think it didn't have any like brevity to it. It was just like a little like beating me over the head with like, please cry now.
Jishnu, you're such a hard man.
I guess so.
You're a serious guy.
I have no soul. But what was I getting at with time? So basically the fact that it's only been a year for the movie and the audience has grown up for 12 years, we now have different expectations.
Yeah, they had to replace the actor for Nemo. Because
I would have thought, I would have thought that Pixar was smart enough, because they are definitely smart enough to understand that and to adapt the script to meet that audience. I mean, like, clearly you like you said at the top of the show, you said that you're going to get a lot more out of this movie, obviously, if you've seen the first one, right?
Yeah.
And this is very much a kid's movie. And as we noticed, all the kids in the audience were probably not even born when the first movie came out.
Yeah.
So they lost out on all the references and throwbacks to the first movie and all the continuation of like narrative and character development. They lost all of that.
Yeah.
And so this was just a cute kids movie. And I thought I was expecting a lot better out of Pixar. If this was not a Pixar movie, I would have said this is a great, cute kids movie, and it's solid and it's fun and it's what it is. But I just hold Pixar in like really, really high regards because they've always delivered a product that like it goes above and beyond. And like these movies, like they live with you. Like I rewatched Inside Out a week ago, and I'm like stunned. I'm still seeing so many layers to that thing.
Like, it's a good movie. Yeah, Inside Out is good.
I could write a thesis on Inside Out.
Yeah, I did have I mean, again, I had few. I mean, Inside Out is a great movie. Mm-hmm. I still had some issues with it, like in terms of like how deep they wanted to go with that whole thought of sad. Anyway, but besides the point, it's still a kids movie. And similarly here also, I mean, this is a movie about disability and how Dory can't really remember anything and how that's affecting her life. And so I thought, just as from a topical standpoint, that's still a great like intro, like entry point for like a story for kids. I mean, like it's just like a new thing for us to kind of deal with. I really like that. I mean, I still think like So Nemo, I think, holds the place for like this movie, the movie which has made me like tear up before the opening credits. Like Finding Nemo is still that movie. It's
Sure.
like when his wife dies and stuff like that.
That was Up for me.
Yeah, Up also.
totally
Up also.
that.
Yeah. Great film. But yeah, so I think the movie suffers because, in our eyes, in that sense, because it's a sequel.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, you're right. The time has passed, in such an awkward amount of time has passed for it to only have covered 1 year in that time chronologically in this film. So I think that is weird. Having said that, I still did like the film. I still like Dory enough for me to like watch another movie about her, and I like Marlon. But the things that didn't hold up for me are like some of the characters were not as memorable as the first movie. Like in the first movie, you have like people, and they have like definite like opinions, and they have weird behaviors and stuff like that. And while this movie has it, they don't have much like motivation for being that way. Like the first movie, Eric Bana plays like Bruce the shark, who's basically on this diet, or basically he's like on a no killing policy or something. And they're having like this anonymous kind of meeting, and I thought that was great because like they're trying to be a certain way, they're trying to change, and there's a great story behind it. And at the same time, the moment he smells like, the blood, he kind of loses his mind and chases him. Yeah. And then there was Crush again, who is great character, who kind of reprises his role over here in this film.
Who was Crush?
Crush is a turtle. The turtle,
who
basically takes them to the East Australian current, and in this movie takes them to the jewel of Morro Bay, California.
Yeah. Like in this one, like I loved the what were they, the not
the sea lions.
Sea lions. The sea lions, they were hilarious.
West,
yeah, they were hilarious. But again,
yeah. So my point was that
I completely forgot about them.
Yeah, they didn't have any like
they had no purpose.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
were completely
right?
comic relief in a comedy. You don't need comic relief in a comedy.
I mean, Becky was there for that. Becky, the weird.
And that was just bizarre. Like I honestly didn't like Becky. Like made me laugh for like a second because I was like, oh wow, you're stupid. And then I was seeing so much of Becky, and then she was like very integral to saving their lives. Like she saved their ass like multiple times. I was like, why is she the hero?
So
in this?
let's
go
to the ending. Let's go to the ending. That crazy ending of the film where. Maybe we should wait. Actually, we should talk about Hank a bit. So Hank was, I think, Pixar themselves have said like Hank is like their best character they've ever animated because it's like super.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful to watch.
Amazing.
Like that first scene in which he kind of enters apparently like two years to kind of finish, and just generally just amazing stuff they've done with that character. But yeah, and played by Ed O'Neill from Modern Family. There were two of them. Even Ty Burrell was also in this film.
Oh yeah,
he was the beluga. The ooh, that guy.
Nice.
Yeah. So he was Hank, and my problem with Hank, even though he was a cool character, is that he has no real like motivation for not. I mean, he keeps saying he's lost like an arm in the ocean, but they never kind of dive into that. They never
get into that, and he's very determined to get to Cleveland. But why? Like, what's the deal with Cleveland?
No, nothing. He just doesn't want to go back into the ocean, and the Marine Life Institute basically rehabilitates them and then puts them back. And he doesn't want to go back into the ocean. My problem was that he keeps saying no. I don't want, just give me your tag. The whole movie is like, give me your tag. And right at the end, Dory just gives him like one inspirational speech, and he's just like, okay, cool. Easier than that was this one's arc, who's Destiny, the whale shark.
Yes.
She can't see.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm very scared. But then he's like, there are no walls in the ocean, so just go there. So that made so much more sense.
Sure.
But like, for Hank, it just felt like, and he was just like an easy character to use to kind of get people from one place to another. So I think he was just like a handy character to have around.
Yeah.
Having said that, he was vocal performances wise, like this movie had
great.
some great performances. Like I really enjoyed everyone's work. Did you catch all the alien references in this movie?
Yeah, as in like Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. So apart from Sigourney Weaver, there was one more which I really, really liked. So I love the Sigourney Weaver, and she's there in. She's there in WALL-E also. She's the intercom voice in...
Oh, yeah?
And the Axiom, the ship that kind of... Yeah, so she's in that also. But there was this one thing which was so great, which was exactly like James Cameron's Aliens, the second one, which is when he's using his echolocation and she's kind of... And you see the dots.
The sonar.
Yeah, the sonar thing, which is exactly like Aliens. And I was just like, that is so funny.
Nice.
I thought that was great. I thought that was really, really funny. So I think they have a... Right. I mean, Pixar is very, very often like referenced so many films in time.
Cool.
So yeah, man.
So let's just take another quick little breaky poo.
You have to stop saying that.
I like that word. It's a fun word.
Yeah.
And then actually, I want to talk a little bit about the notion of this movie being actually about Dory's disability and like it's a disability story.
Yep.
And I want to get into how animation makes things like this, I think, a lot more palatable and a lot easier to swallow without feeling like you're being beaten over the head with like, because there are those
not
Oscar...
like Jessica Jones, which is a hard show to make.
No, sorry, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about like with like Oscar bait movies.
Okay.
Because like, every year there's like
bait being the operative word. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
Every year there are movies about like racism or about like historical biopics or about somebody with
Oscar
some disability.
bait,
They're all Oscar bait.
Yeah.
This one is the exact same thing, but it's animated.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have that weight of like, all right, get ready to be taught a lesson, everybody, for the next 2.5 hours.
Yeah, because they're cute and funny.
Because they're cute and funny. So we'll talk about that at the other side of the bricky poo.
Cool, we're back, and we're talking about Finding Dory. Yeah, Nemo has been found.
So
it's
everything.
Dory's turn.
So I just realized that I pretty much said everything. Well, not everything, but I made my case when I introduced what we were about to talk about.
Oh, okay. That's it?
What do you think?
What do you think?
That was about it.
Basically
That's basically it. What do you think? I think that, this was basically the exact same thing as any Oscar bait movie, but it was much easier to swallow.
Yeah, obviously, because I mean,
and I like that.
They're funny.
I guess that's where
if you
like
have
animation
characters
can come in.
like Becky and Gerald in this movie, then it's still taking, it gives you a breather, like basically when in one of these like really hardcore Oscar bait movies, it's like blow after blow after blow, and you're just like, oh my god, this is just emotionally draining.
Yeah.
And Pixar is actually really good at that,
They're
but they
great
kind
at
of
that.
do this up and down energy thing, which is like they'll make you laugh, and then they'll be like, no, you deserve to cry now. Like Inside Out had me like crying so much, it was crazy. Like I don't cry in real life as much as I cry in animated films, I feel. Like, you know,
probably, yeah.
And it's just like, because they just know what to, like, put their characters in.
Yeah.
And that's why I still prefer moments like, you know, the one you were talking about in Toy Story 3, when they're about to, like, you know, get crushed and put into the lava.
Yeah.
That for me was way more emotional because they're not like manipulating you into saying that, you know, except for that one look where they all give each other, but that's like natural. Like that's anyone in that situation, I'd say, would do that. And that is far worse. Like than, for example, in Inside Out, the fact when, what's his name? The imaginary friend?
Oh, I
can't remember his name.
Oh, I just saw it. I should know this.
But basically when he disappears into the... and she's just like crying, and you know they have such
something with a J. Something
Jim
like Jam.
Yeah,
Jam.
Yeah.
Jam with Jar Jar. I don't know. Something. Okay.
But you know, like they've given like these characters like Joy in that film has such few facial like features, but like when she cries, you can see her whole face look like, you know, how like normal humans actually like ball their eyes out, and it's crazy. You can't look at that and not cry anyway. So so I feel like those are better moments. Like I prefer the Toy Story moment to this. And in this movie, like some of my problems, like I felt like the story was pushed ahead like too like arbitrarily. Like, you know, there were lots of moments which bothered me. Apart from like the motivation from all these characters, like Dory, it felt really convenient. Whenever they want to push the story along, suddenly she'll remember like a word or a line, and it just kind of goes back. Yeah. And the words are not like important words. Like some of them were like just keep swimming, which makes sense, and you know, or was like, you know, about the shells, that's fine. Yeah. But like some random lines would just like suddenly trigger. I don't know if that really happens though, and that's what I still like though about the ending of this film. My favorite scene is when, you know, they finally go back into the quarantine zone, and you know, she's separated from Hank and, you know, the clownfish, and she goes back into the ocean, and she's lost. And I found that scene like the pivotal scene, because like there's this moment where she's like, okay, cool, I don't know, I can't remember anything anymore, because she's had this traumatic roll down the pipes and everything. And she doesn't know what to do, and she's just like, okay, cool, let me just look around. What would Dory do? She looks at the water and she's like, okay, there's lots of water and there's kelp here. Kelp is better, I'm going to move towards kelp. And I feel like that's really what people with short-term memory loss probably do, is just that they find like things which probably draw them instinctively better. Yeah. And like just move towards. She sees the kelp, she goes towards a rock. She finds the shells, and then she...
I think that was a real moment, because I don't even think you need to have short-term memory loss to like feel like that. If you're in an unfamiliar place whether you've been there before or not.
Yeah, fair enough.
You'll go down the path that you
No, but
feel
the fact that she
comfortable.
couldn't remember, like, even she couldn't remember, like, Nemo or anybody, just in that one small moment, it's almost like the first movie where she was just before the P. Sherman Fur to Wallaby Way, Sydney. But, like, I just found that, like, scene, like, the best. And then, like, she kind of finds these shells. And the moment she turns around and she just sees her parents, dude, that had me so bad. I was just like, oh my God, I'm just being shot in the heart.
But speaking of the kids that were surrounding us, that moment was completely ruined for me. It was completely ruined for me. And what I found hilarious was that right before that moment happened, when it's like dead silence and you're meant to sort of be engulfed in this giant expanse of water and like be completely surrounded by everything and be like lost in the whole thing. It was hilarious. Like even the other people in our row, the other adults in our row, like they were very vocal about their frustration with these kids. Yeah. So I love that, like, I can hear them right next to me, like near sobbing at how like, oh my God, this is emotionally turmoil. And then some kid behind them is crying and he's like, I'm gonna kill this kid. But I feel so bad for this fish in front of me. Yeah. It's like
it's strange. I love this kid, but I hate this kid.
Yeah. Aren't kids the best? Dude, some of them. Not the one behind me.
But just generally I hate Indian audiences, man. I mean, some are good, but like there was one guy behind us who just basically said everything while it was happening.
Can I put that on a t-shirt?
Yeah.
I hate
Indian audiences. Yeah.
Tejas, man.
Dude, there was this one moment like where she finds the shells and everything like that.
Yeah.
And like it's this great moment where you're like, oh my God, I see everything. You know, I see the plan here and everything. And then one guy behind me was like, "Haan, rasta bana diya." And I was just like, oh no, why did you do that? Why did you ruin that moment for me?
When I saw Civil War 2, the second time around, not Civil War 2, when I saw it the second time around, Black Panther has his whole epic, like his introductory fight scene, and like you see him in the suit for the first time. It's like 10 minutes of like chaos and he's being a badass and it's amazing and it's epic. And then finally they stop him and they arrest the guys and he takes off his mask and he stares down the cap. Yeah. And the guy like next to me is like, "Arey, ye wo African guy hai na?" I was like, Jesus.
And dude, I remember the other worst moment we had. I think we were both together watching X-Men Apocalypse, and when the arrow, the famous arrow that impaled both the Magneto's kid. Spoilers alert! Spoiler. The kid and the mom simultaneously. Yeah. And fine, we were everyone was thinking it that, oh my God, how did this happen? This is crazy.
Yeah.
But like, we were just trying to maintain like the somber, like, you know,
it's a real moment.
It is. Yeah. And the guy next to us was like, "Arey, ye kaise hua?" He's like, how convenient. And I was just like, dude, I don't need to hear your director's commentary.
The second you see McAvoy losing his hair in this movie, when he's like on the slab next to him, the guy that was sitting next to us, remember, he's like, this is the moment we've been waiting for. Like, why? Yes, I guess. I don't need your inner monologue to like remind me that we've all been looking forward to the moment that Professor X was.
You reminded me that this is an important moment.
I forgot that he's bald. Yes, thank you. I would not have realized.
I think we can compile a good list of like audience reactions. Oh my God, they're terrible. They're just absolutely terrible. Okay, cool. So that was Finding Dory. That was our review. I really liked the film. Jishnu, what did you? I mean, you also liked it.
It was fine.
I can't believe though that your opinion of this movie is fine and Independence Day is like, when we're just about to talk about Independence Day. When you put these two movies together, and you should not, but we are.
I will extrapolate.
Okay, cool. We'll extrapolate.
That's a good word.
Oh God, you're so fascinated by words that everyone uses.
Man. I'm fascinated by words that you don't hear too often.
Okay, cool. All right, we're going to take
I'll extrapolate.
We'll extrapolate. Okay, cool. And we'll be back after a short break.
Finding the right drink at the right place could be a big challenge. Exploring a new destination to its fullest could be a daunting task. So tune in every fortnight and listen to the Drinks and Destinations podcast with Rajita and Samira.
We bring you news, views and stories from the world of wine, beer, spirits and travel. Find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Audioboom or any other podcast app you choose.
So we return to a land untouched by Will Smith for several years. Well, we don't know when he died.
He died like literally in a training exercise right after the first movie.
Yeah, because all the pictures we see in Independence Day 2 of Will Smith, of which there are several, which are gratuitously like gut-wrenching. They're gut-wrenching because you're like, oh man, this movie would be so much better if you were here right now, man.
Yeah, here's my point. No.
Hey.
No.
Okay, no.
The movie is bad.
It's a bad movie.
It's a very bad movie.
But it would be so much better if he was in it, but still be bad.
I agree. It's like The Rock in Fast and Furious.
Yeah, exactly.
I love the Fast and Furious.
It's a bad movie that can be made better, but still bad.
I agree with you.
Right?
Okay, cool.
He wouldn't be able to save the movie.
His very presence would be like, well,
you would forgive so much more.
Fair enough.
Right?
Yeah, that's how...
Because you would be distracted by his awesomeness.
Dude, that's why the first movie worked, man.
Yeah.
The first movie works because of Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum.
It works because of their dynamic, but it also works because it is far more grounded. This one is
so let's get to the bottom of this movie. Why did it suck? First of all, the movie is called Independence Day Resurgence.
Much like Godzilla Resurgence coming out in a few weeks.
There's another Resurgence?
It's the 29th Godzilla film.
No, is the movie called Godzilla Resurgence?
Yep.
Oh God, that doesn't bode well, does it?
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
What do you think of the first Godzilla, by the way? Quickly.
Which one?
The Gareth Edwards one.
Is that the Matthew Broderick one?
No, that was Roland Emmerich. This guy.
Yeah, wait. So, the first one being... Oh, the one with Cranston.
Yeah.
Oh, again, just...
Yeah, I thought as much. Okay, cool. Coming back in.
I loved the Matthew Broderick, Roland Emmerich one, and I loved Independence Day 1.
I want to say
well.
I like the movie better, the Godzilla movie, but the soundtrack of the Godzilla first movie.
Oh, the Wallflowers.
So Wallflowers,
yes.
Jamiroquai,
Damn, yes.
Puff Daddy doing Kashmir. Oh my God. The soundtrack is so good. Anyway, okay, cool. Alright, coming back to Independence Day Resurgence. Let's talk about the setting of this film. Why the first movie was so interesting is because it was just regular humans fighting aliens and using a Apple II computer or something, like a Mac II or something.
Much. They just used a Trojan horse virus.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was enough to kill these aliens, right?
They didn't have Norton on
they
whatever
didn't have
planet they're from.
Yeah. They were like, antivirus.
Like,
so funny though.
We need to call
Isn't
IT.
that hilarious though that in H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, regular viruses kill the aliens, and in this one it's a computer virus. In the 1996 movie, at least. Thank you. Comparison win. Okay, cool. So the setting of this movie is that we have now retrofitted reverse engineered the alien technology, and now Earth is united in peace, and it's like everyone is chill because we have very Watchmen-like one common enemy to unite against, which is the aliens, who have not showed up for like 20 years, but everyone's chill. There's no Gaddafi. There's no Israel.
Because basically after the War of '96, everybody was like, "Okay, cool.
Everyone calm.
We're gonna calm our tits, and we're gonna band together because winter is coming."
Yeah.
And finally, in 2016,
exactly 20 years later,
winter came.
Yeah.
All over them.
Winter came all over them. All right, and. So that's my point. The soul of the original film, which is that, we're regular humans banding together to kind of make this happen, is gone because now it's overrun with technology, and it's good sometimes. Like the graphics, goes without saying, are very, very good. But let me talk about the spaceship. The spaceship that comes to Earth is bigger than the Earth. Okay, it's like bigger in size than like one side.
It's as big as the continent of North America.
Exactly, it doesn't fit on the curvature of the Earth, so it lands on the Earth so funnily.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Like I was really hoping that somebody would start complaining about global warming issues, because the fact that like half the Earth is eclipsed permanently within like less than a couple of miles.
And for how long? Was it like, how long are they on the Earth for? 1 day? That's it? That's like, they took 20 years to plan this thing, and they were just like, in 1 day they were out because of something that resembles Marv from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I don't know if you... Please tell me that was not the first thing you thought of.
It was that and Portal. I thought of that and Portal. Obviously. Yeah.
The voice was it was a woman's voice, right?
Yeah.
It was not Sigourney Weaver.
I was hoping it was Sigourney Weaver. Yeah, that would have been amazing.
That would have been really good.
And then she would have a brand new career, like just opened up right there for her.
Yeah, it's just hilarious.
Do nothing, sit at home and just talking to a mic for a living.
That was Glenn Close, sorry, in Warcraft. Sorry, this is what to say. Was that her? No. Could have been. Anyway, coming back. How old is Jeff Goldblum, by the way, and how is his dad still alive? Jeff Goldblum in real life is 63 years old.
He just had his first kid.
Exactly. Yeah. You saw that Conan interview.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
He's a player. We all knew this.
No, I'm not even talking about that.
He literally plays the long game.
Yes, he physically did that. But I'm saying his dad, Judd Hirsch, is still alive and looks exactly the same as he did in the first one.
Honestly, all the scenes with him were my favorite. Because they were grounded, because it was just him being a regular dude trying to save a bunch of kids.
I agree.
It had the same tone as the first movie. I was like, this is what I wanted.
But he drives a yellow school bus.
Great,
in
man.
the middle of
That's
Area
epic.
51.
I loved it. It was so stupid.
I did like it.
Because,
It was so stupid.
I have to be totally honest. Yes, the movie was horrible.
It was horrible.
But after the first 10 minutes,
you have to understand
I got exactly what was going on. I was like, all right, just sit back and sip on my sugary drink and just turn my brain off.
Okay.
And that's exactly what happened.
You're right. I may have taken this movie, like, I don't know what it was that, I was really looking forward to, not a grounded take, but I was looking forward to, like, something which maybe had the hint of the charm of the first film, like, the charm is lost,
I was hoping, but there was no charm. Like, I mean, yes, I was very much gunning for this movie to like wow me like the first one did, because the first one I've seen more times than I can count, and I genuinely love the first movie.
Yeah, the first movie is amazing.
I love the first
great.
movie.
Yeah.
I see it all the time, and so I was hoping they would do it, but I knew at the same time when I watched the 4.5, almost 5 minute long trailer that this is gonna go to hell in a handbasket pretty quick.
Seriously,
so
that trailer is what put me off from the get-go, man.
So I took it with a grain of salt or a full bag of it.
Yeah.
And just had a good time watching it. So another thing I want to talk about that's pretty interesting is that much like with Warcraft, making all its money for the most part in China.
And did this movie do that?
This movie was so tailor-made for Chinese markets, because not only was there obviously a lot of Chinese influence in the cast and characters, they even had like product placements for specific Chinese things. And I found out about this. I know about this through the most random occurrence. I was with a friend of mine who had just spent a year in China.
Okay.
And we saw it together, and he was like cracking up at the most random stuff, and I was like, "What's so funny?" And if you recall, when Liam Hemsworth is Skyping with his girlfriend, on this from the moon, he's on this Skype call via this app called.
Also.
Well, it's
I get
it's alien Skype
in Bombay.
It's alien Skype.
Yeah,
he's on the satellite that probably blasts up that signal.
Skype.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
He doesn't have MTNL, I'm pretty sure. So
yes, it's true.
The software that he was using was something called QQ or something like that.
Yeah, this is true.
And which is like the biggest Chinese Skype interface thing that they have. Cool. And so there were a whole lot of these little shout outs all over the place.
Was it made with Chinese money, the movie? That's probably it, right?
Must be.
Like Iron Man 3 had a huge thing as well.
The scene where London blows up, before the actual city gets destroyed, they cut to a guy, like an East Asian guy, I'm guessing, Chinese maybe, or somewhere in that area, just sitting in the back of a cab. And for a moment I thought, oh, this is China, but then obviously, it's revealed that he's in London. So the fact that they chose to have a Chinese guy
and there was
having a bunch of noodles
also,
in the back of a cab.
One of the main commanders was also
of course,
a Chinese
one of the
guy
main commanders
also,
and one of the pilots as well. So I mean, there were a lot of things that were very
one of the pilots, correct? The guy who
ethnic-centric to the Chinese
I see.
market.
Was it because they're trying to? I mean, apart from the funding, also because they're trying to present this whole United Earth thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it does make sense, because it
reminded
reminded me a lot of like Firefly, because Firefly is also post-apocalyptic on the Earth that was. The only two cultures that survive are Western civilization and China. So everybody in Firefly universe speaks English and Chinese.
So there are only a handful of Western films that are released in China at all, like maybe like 20 or so, 20 odd films are released. So I guess if you go and shoot and you basically are honorable to the Chinese, they will let you release their film.
Sure.
Just like our podcast will never be in China.
Nope, not after that. Not anymore.
What? I'm just being honorable. Okay, cool. Anyway, but so yeah, I did not know that. I didn't know that there were only a few select films. I mean, actually, it's a no-brainer. But that makes a lot of sense. There were a lot of points in this film. I gotta be honest. I really I went with my flatmate Abhimanyu as I keep watching films with him, and I really wanted the aliens to win.
Yeah.
I wanted a lot of people to die. Like every time we were watching, we were just like so fried with these characters. We were just like, please die. And then Vivica A. Fox dies in this. Spoiler alert.
I cannot tell you how excited I was to see her.
Yeah.
Because the last time I saw Vivica A. Fox after the first Independence Day movie was on The Celebrity Apprentice, which is the only reality show that I diligently watch. And I'm so excited for when Schwarzenegger takes us over, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to live tweet every single episode. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to listen to my tweets.
No, do it. You must.
But I'm going to do that.
When is it out?
Soon. They haven't said.
But Donald Trump, man.
She'll be back. I will do a podcast review of every episode just by myself. Nobody's ever going to hear these podcasts. It's not going to be a Geek Fruit thing. It's going to be me just talking to my phone and reminding myself for like a time capsule of like, remember when you watched Celebrity Apprentice? Wasn't that amazing? Yeah, that was great.
Cool.
That's what I'm going to do.
Cool.
I was so excited to see her. And she dies within like
I'm so happy.
15 minutes.
I'm happy.
And I was
dude.
like,
I'm happy. I wanted more people to die.
I was like, come on, look at her story. She's a stripper mom, single mom,
exotic dancer, Jishnu,
who's married to Will Smith.
Okay.
You know, she got the biggest catch on the planet, right?
Then
he goes and kicks the bucket.
Yeah.
Her son goes up into space and fights aliens, and that's pretty epic. And then she becomes a doctor. Like, hey, I want to read her memoirs.
This is true. I would like to see a spin-off film of just Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah, the memoirs of Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah.
That's the Memoirs of Geisha sequel. Because she was, like
nice.
exotic dancer.
Good one,
some
Jishnu.
sort of leeway.
Yeah, honorable. Okay, cool. But see, in terms of characters which I did not want to die, Vivica A. Fox, like, yeah, I could have helped her. Like, I mean, like, what do you mean better if the son died? I really wanted the son to die. Other characters really wanted to die. Brent Spiner is alive in this.
So glad.
Yeah.
So glad.
He's alive. I thought he died in the last one.
Yeah.
He's alive and he has a boyfriend.
Apparently, yeah, that was cool. That was neat.
That was interesting.
Hilarious. But
Yeah.
I saw an interview with Brent Spiner as well, and apparently when they filmed the first one, they had a line that Alec Baldwin said, which was
Alec Baldwin.
Not Alec Baldwin, sorry.
Bill Pullman.
No. Damn it. What's it? He's one of the Baldwins. He's in
Stephen
Firefly.
Baldwin.
Not Stephen Baldwin. Oh god.
What are the other Baldwins?
Who's the Baldwin in Firefly? This is so bad of me.
Alex.
No, there's so many Baldwins.
Alec Baldwin, Stephen
There's
Baldwin.
so many Baldwins.
Billy Baldwin.
Not Billy Baldwin. Oh.
How many Baldwins are there?
They're like 17.
They're like the.
Anyway, he's the general sergeant guy. Adam Baldwin.
Adam
Baldwin. So
of course.
he's one of the tough guys that
Wasn't he tipped to be the Flash at some point? Adam Baldwin.
What? He's huge.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyway,
Sorry.
but he is in the first one, and in the scene where Brent Spiner gets attacked by the aliens, they filmed a line where Adam Baldwin says, "Oh, he's dead," and then they cut that out to keep it open for them. And
so for 20 years later, wow, that's some real foresight.
Basically,
Jesus.
yeah.
Wow.
And I'm glad they did. Very glad they did.
Also, I did not like any of the young new people. They should have all died.
I did.
I
Honestly,
didn't like.
Yeah,
Liam's-
I agree. I didn't like them, but I was very intrigued
By whom?
why am I so bad with names today? Who's the main girl?
Oh, the girl, the daughter of the
Brie
president.
Larson.
Brie Larson.
Wasn't that? No, that
Not
wasn't
at
Brie
all.
Larson. No, what was her name?
It was like, I don't know.
What was her name?
I don't know, something. Monica Gandhi. I don't know. Man. I don't know.
Monica Gandhi.
I have
yes,
no idea.
I'm
I'm
sure
sorry.
that was.
That's the only name that was coming to my head for some
Brie
reason.
Larson
Okay.
was closer, I'm sure.
Okay, cool.
Because she kind of looks like her.
It's something. I don't remember. But yeah, but dude, I'll tell you why I didn't like that. It was so dumb. It was just like, hey, I'm an executive in the president's, what do you call it, like in the White House or whatever. And then like last scene is like, I can fly this plane.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I
are you
honestly felt
saying?
like I had missed a movie in between these movies. Because there was so much that had to be set up, and with lack of time, you have to catch up on 20 years of all this stuff. There's exposition after exposition, especially with this relationship between Liam Hemsworth and and Will Smith's kid.
No, I mean they just wanted to make like a bro movie. I guess, or some
exactly.
shit.
And I was like,
and I was just like, who was honestly the most interesting character? And I'll tell you the least interesting character also. So the least interesting character was the accountant that keeps following Jeff Goldblum all over the place.
Yeah.
Who was this guy?
Yeah, seriously.
What was he doing?
You know what they needed to do?
He was not funny also. He was supposed to be comic relief, I
They
suppose.
needed to not kill off Harvey Fierstein in the first
Yeah,
movie.
for sure.
Because that man is my hero.
He
and
is
saint.
a real hero.
He is a legend.
He's
I
a
don't
real
know
legend.
why the hell he died. He has one of
Yeah.
the most angelic voices I've heard in my life. And he should have just stayed there and just
Yeah.
gone around saying, David!
Yeah.
Oh my god, David, the aliens are back! I
That's
gotta
it.
call my lawyer!
That is an exact...
So, how much better would this movie have been?
By
Like,
the way-
why are the aliens here again? Did we come the first time, David? My mother's in the car. Like, why did he die? He died in a fireball in a taxi cab.
In a fire
Much like
steam.
the guy... Oh, wow, this just hit me. The Chinese guy in London died the exact same way that Harvey Fierstein died.
No, he dies the same way that Bill Pullman dies in this movie. Spoilers alert, sorry guys.
No. That's different. You're thinking about a different person. That is...
Oh shit! Yeah. Sorry. That's the other guy.
That's the other guy.
the crazy guy.
That's the crazy guy.
Yeah. Sorry, you're right.
So Harvey Fierstein is the
other guy. Yeah.
his colleague.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum's
David
colleague.
Levinson's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Of course.
So Chinese guy in the cab dies the exact
Yes,
same way
it's
as
true.
Harvey Fierstein. I don't care about Chinese guy. No offense to Chinese guy, but I don't give a damn about you.
But that's
You are not a Tony Award living legend.
There are a billion of you Chinese guy, but there's only one Harvey Fierstein.
That's not racist at all.
It's not racist at all.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So why are you pointing it out?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, cool. And a few more things. Will Smith survives an alien invasion but dies in a training exercise.
True. Yep.
What is that? Oh my god. It was basically dumb luck that kept him alive.
He was trying to get those womp rats and just couldn't, couldn't cut it.
I guess when he crashed into the ground, the earth was like, welcome to me. Oh god. Okay.
He just couldn't handle Beggars Canyon. Just trying to do his thing.
His thing.
Just couldn't cut it.
I think it's because of After Earth, he just, may not have wanted to do another science fiction film.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, as you should. For good reason.
Anyway.
But how much cooler would have been if Jaden Smith was in this film?
Have you heard about Jaden Smith? It was like a month or so ago.
Is Jaden Smith still like a weirdo? Is he still a weirdo?
Yeah.
Like but he's like, life is like like two tent poles, crossing on a wire between the earth and the sky.
That's the first draft of Forrest Gump. That didn't make the cut. Life is like a. What did you say?
So it's two tent poles.
The wire across. Two 10 poles in the crust. Anyway, so he said something to the effect of, when I'm 17 or 21 or something or the other, some random, arbitrary age, he's like, I will go into hiding and I don't want anybody to know what I'm up to, and I basically want to be Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh god, long way to go, Jaden.
Yeah, exactly. He basically wants to pull a Daniel Day-Lewis.
Never say never, man.
He wants to, obviously he's in the limelight all the time because he's Will Smith's son, and he's a decent actor himself, and he's getting big roles, he's fine. He's getting blockbuster roles. So we're always aware of what he's up to. And he's like, hey, when I'm an adult, whatever age he said, a pretty young age, I want to just be completely off the grid for as long as I can be. For whatever reason.
Oh my god. Okay, cool. So Jaden Smith... this is an example of Jaden Smith, and I think I will have to say no more. How can mirrors be real if our eyes aren't real? 22,000 likes and 35,000 people.
Is that just an arbitrary Facebook status?
It's a tweet.
Just a tweet.
Yeah, just another day in the life of Jaden Smith.
Just throwing some knowledge into the universe. Cool.
No, but
that's what Jackie Chan taught him in Karate Kid.
Jesus, but that was a good movie. I like that. I like that movie. Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It was alright.
Anyway.
And the other thing is, by the way, is Jaden Smith being super famous as the kid of Will Smith the only kind of similarity that Hollywood has ever had to Bollywood in terms of nepotism and stuff?
I guess so. Other than the Smith family, there's the Baldwin family. I can't think of too many other families.
Are they Baldwin kids? Who are the kids?
They're all brothers.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah,
brothers are fine.
Okay. You mean lineage? Yeah,
I'm talking about kids suddenly assuming the limelight of the parents, even though they have not done anything to deserve it, apart from be the progeny of their,
Yeah, there aren't very many.
I think this Will Smith is the first. I think.
Yeah.
Where both him and his daughters constantly whipping her hair back and forth.
The first one that is super out there. I'm sure if we think hard enough, we can think of somebody else. Yeah, but they definitely have the monopoly on that.
Fair enough.
That Smith household is quite.
And maybe the Coppola. No.
Who the Coppolas? I haven't seen too many of Sofia Coppola's movies, but I would say that she's...
that is worth watching, I suppose.
Which one?
Lost in Translation.
Have you seen The Bling Ring?
No, I haven't. Oh, yes, they're right. That was another one.
It was...
Oh, and the son is the one that did this. Grand Budapest Hotel. Sorry, where are we going with this?
I don't know.
We were just having a discussion. Okay, cool.
We should stop while we're...
Stop while we're hot. While we're going...
We're not
quit
hot.
While we're ahead.
Quit while we're alive.
Okay, cool. Yes, let us end this show honorably.
If you say so. Hey, thanks for listening to us, and if you liked what you heard, you might enjoy Cyrus Says, also on the IVM network, where Cyrus Brocha interviews interesting people from all walks of life in his signature style. That's Cyrus Says.
Hey man, just help me out, man. I need some podcast, man. I haven't had a fix in a week. Just need some.
Don't you worry about it. I got podcast galore for you, man. Just go to ivmpodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thanks, man. I'm gonna check it out.